Well, I'm super excited. My ears are really hot, and that's an indication that I'm both nervous and excited, which always happens. And it means that we're onto some really big magic. So that's my body telling me like, okay, it's party time. Should we? I think we should just jump in. Yeah, we have more people. And as people come in, Daniela, you can let them in. So thank you all. Oh, hold on. Hey, Google. Stop. There's like music in the background. I felt like it was competing with me. Um, so I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for celebrating with me. This Oracle deck was a project that was in my heart for years. And oh my goodness, I can't believe that finally made it happen. Um, I was meditating on what what is the intention for this gathering? What would I love for you to walk away with? And the main thing that I would love for you to walk away with is that you're never going to be ready. So just start, whatever it is. But before we get super philosophical with it, I'll just start off by introducing myself. Actually, I feel like I know all of you pretty well, so thank you for coming. I'm Jasleni. I'm the art witch and brand strategist. I want to set the tone for tonight. We're going to start off with some storytelling, some behind the scenes on the making of the Oracle deck, move straight into questions because I want to answer all of your questions. And I know Daniel has been texting me with a bunch. So Daniel, this is your opportunity to get all your questions answered. And then I have a sweet, simple manifestation exercise that I want to go through just to set really powerful intentions for the new year. And then I have some gifts that I want to give you. So that's the plan for tonight. Before we get started, I want to set some rules. Number one, that we're going to be really respectful to each other. If anybody does share anything vulnerable, let's hold space by listening. You could drop an emoji in there if you want to show extra support. But what we're not going to do is give each other unsolicited advice. We're just going to witness each other and support each other. We're going to be respectful. We're going to keep an open mind. We're going to set the intentions that anything we receive tonight was meant for us and is meant for our best and highest good. And we're going to have a lot of fun. How does that sound? Give me like a thumbs up if we agree. Yes, we're all in agreement. Perfect. Okay, so story time. I want to share one of the paintings from the Oracle deck. And this is the artwork for the confidence card. And this isn't me. Actually, this looks a lot like my niece, Ariana, if anything, when she was little. But I want to start here because if you see in the artwork, there's all of these drawings. And in the really tiny in the upper right-hand corner of the artwork, there's a little A plus. And the reason for that is because when I was little, I used to draw all the time, all kinds of things on whatever pieces of paper I could find. And then I would finish my drawings, I would look at it, and I would very quickly put an A plus in the corner. Like I would grade myself. And let me tell you, I always got an A plus. No matter what my drawings were, like I was crushing it. And I think about that version of me, little Jasleni, who was so confident. And sometimes I'm like, damn, where did she go? Like, do you like give me like a gesture if you can relate to looking back and remembering that confidence, that inner child who was fearless, who was like go-getter, and how quiet that energy feels sometimes. Adulthood kicks in and we start wondering what are people going to think and you know is that very professional and what if I don't do a good like The girl who was doing all these drawings and getting A pluses left and right, she was not worried about. She was crushing it. So, I'm also thinking of, and actually my sister's here, and I don't know if you know this story, Addie, and you probably would be mortified to hear this one, but I'll share that we used to live in a three-family house when I was little, when we moved to the States, and we lived in the second floor. And the way the house was set up was that each apartment had its own balcony. And I remember at the time I was what, like 8 years old, and I didn't have that many. That's not true. I did have friends, but language was a barrier. I didn't speak English. They didn't speak Spanish. So I had a lot of little friends from the neighborhood, but we weren't super, super tight because of the language barrier.
This
Anyways,
meeting is being recorded.
oh, Paige, I think you're here. I invited you to mute. Thank you. So as a little 8-year-old Jasleni, I remember telling my little neighborhood friends that I was a witch and that I was magical and that I had superpowers and in the best English that I could muster. And I distinctly remember them being like, "Nuh-uh, like you don't know what you're talking about. We don't believe you." And I'm like, "I'm gonna prove it." So I went upstairs. We were in the backyard. I went upstairs and I grabbed a broom and I marched to the third floor, the third balcony, and I got on the railing of the balcony, brooms between my legs, and I was like, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly because I'm a witch. I am magical as fuck. Nothing can stop me. I got this. Watch me. So all the little kids are on the floor, like on the grass, looking up at me. I'm in the third balcony and I jump. And I like committed. Like I don't just jump like this. I jump like this. And I see some people are coming in. So I jump, and do you want to guess what happened?
Please.
Hi, Lamora.
Hi.
So I'm telling a story of when I was little, third
Okay.
third balcony floor, broom between my legs, and I jump because I'm convinced that I'm a witch. I have superpowers. I got this. So I jump, and thankfully, I did not break my neck. And thankfully, I didn't die. Actually, nothing happened. Not a scratch, not a bruise, not anything. I just kind of landed. But what happened was that I broke my heart. And actually, I'm getting emotional talking about this because I went from believing that I could do anything, even fly with a broom between my legs, to realizing like, oh shit, like if you jump, like you're gonna land. And like I didn't have this, epic flight that I was anticipating. And I think it was the first moment that I started to dull my shine, to grow up, to realize, oh wait, just because you believe really hard in something doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to pan out exactly the way that you thought. And so I'm sharing that because that played a really big role in how long it took me for years to come to do all kinds of things, to call myself an artist. That was like 20 years before I felt really confident calling myself an artist. And I was like selling art, exhibiting, painting all the time. But, I had to like work up to that title. So this Oracle deck, in so many ways, was a reclamation for me, was my way of, and I'm seeing in the chat, Veronica said, I would argue that you did fly that day. In many ways, right? Like I didn't die. But it definitely it did something to me. And it's taken me a long time to unlearn all of the things that we learn in adulthood, to strip that shyness, that those insecurities. And this Oracle deck, I remember being like a junior in high school when I first said I wanted to create my own deck. And I just did it like 2 minutes ago. Like that's how long it took me to put this together. And frankly, it was because I was waiting. I was waiting till I was good enough, had the skills, had the knowing. Like, I don't even know what I was waiting for. And then one day I had a conversation with somebody, with Chris Ann, the woman who designed the Lightseers Tarot. I love her. And she was like, you should just do it and like, do it now. And I don't know why that woman telling me do it now was the thing that I needed to hear, but it was just a decision of, okay, I'm going to do it now. So for all of you who have already played with the cards, you just holding the deck, you even thinking about it, you being here is fueling the magic of it all. And I can't even tell you what that means to me. And my sincerest wish is that the deck is going to be something that supports you, that guides you, that you have a lot of fun with, that you find a lot of clarity and guidance with. And in many ways, this feels like my gift to the world, but in an even bigger way, your receiving of it is a tremendous gift to me. And I'm forever grateful. So that's my story. I have proven that if I put a broom between my legs, I don't fly. But I also have confirmed that I am very magical in many other ways. And I would love for all of us to celebrate that magic in all of us because we have our thing, we have our sparkle, we have our qualities that are uniquely ours, that are very magical. And I'm putting it out there for as a collective intention, and we will get to like other intentions later, but I'm putting it out there that in 2025 we find, reclaim, and express our magic in all the ways. Okay, I feel like I've been talking for forever, so I'm gonna open it up to questions. What do you want to know about the deck? How has your experience been thus far? Um, any takeaways for me jumping off the balcony? Talk to me, people. And you can just unmute yourself.
Well, I just want to know more about that. First of all, I love you. You know, I love the deck. I have it. I have that card. When I'm not, doing a card pull, I keep that card that you showed just now on my desk at work in my office. I mean, not at work, in my office, which I have an office, which is where the deck is right now. Anyway, I love that card so much just because the first time I looked at it, I did not notice the A pluses on the thing until you said it, and it just warmed my heart, and it gave me, and it does every time I have to do anything, as you know, Jasleni, I'm interviewing for things, I'm changing my whole life right now, quitting my job and all that. So I do look at that card and say, A plus, Michelle, like it's so easy just to give myself those kudos and those props because we are all doing. And I could probably don't know anyone on this call, but I bet we're all in the same place where even the littlest thing is an accomplishment. It's something. We're doing something. We're getting up every day. We're making a difference in our lives. And I just think that this deck speaks to that. No matter who you are or where you come from. I get emotional when I talk about things, as you know. But that's how I feel. Like I've obviously known about the deck for a while. I was expecting it to be a certain thing because you've posted, in various chats about when you were naming it, should I call it this? And it was nothing, I can't, every time I look at these cards, I'm like blown away. It's nothing that I expected. And then everything I expected and more, if that makes sense. It's like, it's so beautiful, Jasleni. And it's magical and it's cultural. It's everything. You managed to take your culture, but also make it, which is not my culture, and make it relatable, to me. So that's why I was one of the proponents of do not change the name. Do not, you know what I mean? Keep it authentic because it has so much value and it's just such a lush, beautiful deck. And I love it. So thank you. Thank you for doing it. But I do want to know what happened to you. Where did you land? Number one, literally, did you flopped on the ground from 2 stories up?
I must have had the only logical explanation I can give you
Yeah.
is that my guardians stepped all the way in.
Absolutely. Or you did fly. I mean, you floated somehow.
I was met with shock that I didn't like in my mind, in Aladdin when Jasmine and Aladdin like have that magic carpet ride, like that's
Yes,
in my
that's how it
mind, that's
felt.
what was gonna happen. That's not what happened. So somewhere between me like flopping and getting up, I was in so much shock that I
Yeah.
didn't have this like epic flight that I don't even know what happened. Like I just got up, I was embarrassed. I dusted myself off and I kept it moving. Like it wasn't, I don't even, all my guardians stepped in and like softened my landing.
That's
And then,
awesome.
and then I spent years like
Yeah.
wondering what happened there. What was that about? But I'm grateful I didn't hurt myself. And
No.
I'm also proud of the me that felt like, no, I can do things. I can do unbelievable things.
Mhm.
And I'm proud to say that a huge part of me today has regained some of that belief and is applying it in other safer ways.
Oh,
Does that answer your question?
that does. Absolutely. Thank
I also want to comment on the naming of the deck, La Caribeña Oracle. I went back and forth so much, and I had kind of forgotten about that. So thank you for bringing that up, Michelle. I had gone back and forth so much on should I call the deck this when so many people are struggling to pronounce it. And and also for SEO purposes, for like searching for it online, like it's just harder to have a name that you don't know how to pronounce, that has like a character, like the little N, the enye, um, that's like hard to type. And so all of those things came to mind, but this deck, it's its own thing, and it told me what it wanted to be. And so much of the creation of it wasn't even me, it was just me listening to what it wanted to be. And so, yeah, keeping the name was me honoring that the Caribbean woman, La Caribeña, this is how she wanted to be referred to. This is how the deck wanted to show up. And it's a fun little exercise whenever I'm telling people it's pronounced La Caribeña, and we do that little song and dance of trying to pronounce it, and sometimes it's super awkward, but I think in the funniest, most wonderful way.
I did want to first kind of say, Michelle, thank you for sharing, your thoughts, and I totally agree with you when it comes to all the things that these cards for me I feel like have brought. Even going through them, I bring it everywhere. All my friends, I'm like, hey, can I practice? And I find myself very impressed and just like surprised at how well I feel like I'm connecting with the cards and just kind of interpreting the cards. And I know some of it is, or a lot of it can be up for interpretation, but just really connecting with the cards and seeing how the car may reflect in their lives or in a different perspective. Because I feel like a lot of the times when we look at the card or if you're reading it for someone, they focus on specifically the word. And they think that that word is defining the aspect, whether it's their current challenges or their life's teaching, and just really opening up their eyes as you're opening up your own eyes and expressing how it can be viewed or portrayed or interpreted in a different way. Just because it says, let's say, balance, it doesn't necessarily mean, that you don't have a good work and life balance. It can mean your self-care. It can mean the way you respect yourself, the way you respect others. So just really allowing yourself to go beyond what the words mean and just really connecting with the cards has been really, really fun for me, I would say.
Well, I'm having a lot of fun receiving your questions as you've been playing with the deck. And that's the whole point, right? To be really open, to receive, to play. And yes, it is. I feel like the deck is this very sacred tool, and sort of a easy way to connect with the divine and to your own higher spirit. And so there's something really sacred about that. But also, sacred doesn't have to mean serious and stiff and boring. It could also be super playful. And Daniel, I feel like everything you just shared feels like that balance between the sacred and the mundane, the playful and the serious. And yeah, love that.
And even like the wordplay with magic, the way you spelled it too, because typically, when those who are not necessarily, they don't look at things, they have a different perspective in life, and kind of explaining them that the magic that is referring to is may not be the one that they're considering, just kind of like what we talked about the last card, the soul purpose, unlearning, just kind of changing the perspective, the narrative, and the way you grew up learning something versus what it means to and how it reflects in your life today.
Yeah, before jumping here, I did a little reading for myself of which cards wanted to be highlighted. And so the confidence card, and then two other cards. The magic card came forward as wanting some attention. And that surprised me. I'm like, okay, I wasn't planning on this for tonight. But it also feels really fitting. What's coming to mind is the question of what does magic mean to you? What does it look like for you? And this card has all kinds of things, plants and plant medicine, the Bible, that for some people is a huge source of comfort. Um, Pieces of Santeria symbolism, which is such a woven thread in Afro-Caribbean culture. Offerings to the divine, like tobacco and seashells, the Virgin Mary, more offerings in the form of alcohol and whiskey and sage. And this blue bottle these are like things that I have in my house. Like these are my things. This blue bottle holds my holy water, which is the first raid in May. Is that right, Michelle? Did I just lie or did I? Yeah, okay. Like I haven't collected the first raid in May in a little bit. So these are all things that to me are very symbolic of magic, ritual, witchcraft, practicing, using all these tools to set your intentions. But magic beyond sort of this more ceremonial setting could look like you being really kind to yourself, right? You taking really good care of yourself, you speaking to yourself with really nice words, you deciding, okay, I'm not going to participate in self-judgment and criticism and the violence of being mean to myself. That is an act of magic. You deciding that, you know what, maybe I will do that open mic and share that poem. That's an act of magic. You going to the kitchen and experimenting, and you don't know what the hell that's going to come out like, but you decide, like, you know what, I want to play. That could be an act of magic. So I really want to encourage that expansion of what does magic look like. Do we have any more questions? And if not, okay, Paige, hit me.
Okay. May I compliment first and then ask the question?
I'm open to receiving all the love, always.
Okay. When I opened it up, everything, for example, everything Danielle said about how amazing, like, who the person who spoke before Danielle, I took you off of group view, so I'm not finding
Michelle?
people's names. Michelle, about it being so exactly what I expected and so much more. But also, may I just like hold space for the extreme care that you took with how it came to us, how not just the mailing of it or the things, but the box itself, the inserts in the box. There's such reverence. Like when it hit my hands, I knew the extreme care that you put into those choices to make it to keep the sacred sacred. And I just it from the moment I touched it. So thank you. The 1,000 decisions that you made. So I'm curious about your process of dialing into the language, because I told you privately, but I'm not a huge deck collector. I have a few precious ones. Some of them are precious, as Danielle said, not because of the words that are in the book, but because of the imagery that they bring. But the words, the way your oracles speak in the book is profound. How did you do that? How did you do that?
Oh, first of all, thank you. I'm just receiving all the words. How did I do that? How can I put this delicately? I first freaked the fuck out. Like I was like, I did the artwork. The artwork felt very intuitive and channeled, and like I'm not gonna say it was easy, but there was like this undeniable flow. And then I finished all the artwork, and my timeline for when I needed to get it to printing was coming up, and it was this like, oh shit moment of, an oracle deck has a book, and the book explains all the work that I've been putting into it, and the book is supposed to like make sense of all of this work that I've been putting into the artwork. And I wish I could tell you that I had this elegant process. It was not. Like Michelle and I are working on a new oracle deck of her oracle deck, and I've been fortunate enough to create the artwork and collaborate with her on that, and she's taking care of all of the writing. And Michelle's writing, like she has put so much into that. And her process, I would say, has been really elegant. Mine was just this moment of like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I have to guidebook. And so
You're being very kind, but I disagree. I've been a mess. No, seriously, you've been one. Jasleni's amazing. If anybody has a project that they need an illustrator and a guy, she's the one. Because anyway, not to pull the focus on, but what you said, I'm like, no, you've done that. If it's at all elegant, it's you. So let's be clear.
We could debate this to death. I think that when working with other people, I am sharp, I am organized, I am on it. There's something about creating something of your own. And in many ways, I think with any creative project, it's this opening up of your heart. It's this opening up of your diary. It's this like exposing of yourself. There's this vulnerable aspect to deciding to create something and then letting the whole world see it that changes the approach. So when I'm working with somebody else, helping them bring their vision to life, I am on fire. When I'm doing it for myself, what are people going to think? What if I don't do a good job? How is it going to be received? Like all of these questions really muddy the landscape in which I was working in. So Paige, to answer your question, on my birthday, I went on a trip to Dominican Republic, and I was going to be there for a week, and my intention was to write the whole guidebook in a week. And so I brought my computer, and I had this really cute plan. I was going to be on the beach drinking piña coladas and like just writing, and the words were going to flow because I was going to have the ocean view and the wind and the taste of salt in the air. Perfect ingredients for writing the guidebook to the Oracle deck. Like that was the plan. I went on this trip with the best of intentions, and I got like 2 pages done. And that was me like really, really trying. And actually, no, let me give myself more credit. I got 2 really good pages. And even though it's just 2, they were really good. And so those 2 really good pages gave me a sense of direction. They set the tone. And in those 2 pages, I made decisions. I made decisions of, okay, the book is going to be divided like this. I'm going to talk about La Caribeña's journey, and then I'm going to offer the guidance, and then I'm going to do a spell for each card, or not a spell, but rather offer soul work for each card. So I made decisions, but this book is what, 120 pages? Yeah, 120 pages-ish. And I got the first 2 done, including like the cover, so really like 1.5-ish in that trip. And then I came back and I'm like, well, that didn't go as planned, and I didn't get very far. And so, yeah, I got nervous. And what really did it for me, the moment that that process changed from one of panic to one of direction, was when I had a conversation with one of my mentors, Darla, which Paige, you know Darla, and she asked me like, how's the writing going? And I told her, I'm panicking because it took me 20 years to call myself an artist, and now I'm asking myself to call myself a writer. Like, I don't have 20 years to decide that I'm a writer and to like do it confidently. And I love writing, but I have always felt as somebody who writes versus a writer, like writer. You know, there's a fullness to stepping into that. And so what finally clicked for me was when Darla said to me, but are you writing it or are you just a conduit for spirit? Like, is spirit writing it and you're just like transcribing? I thought that's what you did with the artwork. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me to just do the same with the writing, to get out of the way and just listen. And so as I was listening, I could just type what I was hearing. And all of a sudden, it was taken off my shoulders, it was off my hands. I didn't have to fuss. I could just kind of like listen and transcribe. And so the writing went really quickly after that. And then thankfully, Daniela, who's in the room, my writing fairy godmother, she, I have so many titles for Daniela. Um, she took the words that I handed over, the draft, and she asked me really good questions. There were moments where she was like, "Girl, are you serious?" And I was like, "Okay." And so we did that editing process, and it was really smooth. It was really smooth once I got out of the way. That was that was the writing.
Thank you so much. That makes absolute sense. That's how it reads. It's clean, it's uncomplicated, it's pure. Also, I just figured out that who Daniela is. Hi, Daniela. She's your Daniela. She's Crystal's Daniela, which makes her my Daniela.
And I saw, Lori, did you unmute?
Yeah. I have a ton of Oracle decks, like a ton, and I actually get them and give them as gifts. And so when I got yours, even all of the things that you shared ahead of time, when I got it and I opened it, there's just some things that happened for me that I just wanted to share with you. One is, and I've got it in front of me, so I'm still touching it, but there is an energy that's coming from it. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know if anyone has felt this, but just touching it, there's something there. And then I love how it opens. And so, like Paige was saying, nothing really has been unthought of. So it's the color and the presentation and just everything all together makes it so unique from any other deck that I have. And one of the things that I also kind of, I think, witnessed just knowing a little bit about you, but throughout this whole process, is that it was so cool to see who you have become as you've worked from the beginning to the end result. And there's this confidence and energy and just this belief in what's important to you, and it's in this deck. And that was kind of what I was feeling throughout the whole process, just kind of looking at things, looking at images, anything that you've ever shared. And so I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to actually be involved and to see kind of from the beginning to the end.
Thank you. I'm feeling really emotional. I'm like, don't cry, hold it together. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let me just take a second to receive everything you just said, to receive all of you. The graphic designer in me is doing like a happy dance right now because all of those meticulous little details and even like the box and that sound, the like I worked on that. Like I wanted that. And every nitpicky little detail was so intentional. And there were moments where I was like, is anybody going to care? And I'm like, but I care. And what I'm hearing, what I'm receiving is that you do care, that all of these details have been noticed and appreciated. And so the graphic designer in me is like, yes. The artist and the witch in me is just like, oh my God, my whole heart. Like it's just, yeah, um this deck for me is it answers the question of what do I want to leave behind when I'm no longer around? And like this feels like a little piece of medicine I can offer to the world in some respect, and I'm trusting that it's going to reach the people that it's supposed to connect with and that it'll serve you in whatever way it's supposed to. And yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for receiving it in this way. Okay, I had an agenda in my mind, and we're so far past that timing. So I'm gonna open it up to one more question if anybody else wants to share, and then we'll shift gears.
I have one.
Okay, Veronica?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a follow-up to Lori's, just talking about like your growth and how we're able to witness that throughout the deck. I am curious, what would 8-year-old Jasleni on her broom say about your creation? That's number one. And a quick number two is, was there any mystery to the numbers that you assigned to each of the cards?
Okay, let me start with your second question because your first question might make me like actually cry. I did all of the artwork. And let me tell you that I actually did more paintings than what you see here, and then eliminated some that I felt didn't like communicate what needed to be in the deck. So I took all of the artwork and I laid it all out on the floor. These are pieces of wood, all different sizes. And and then I said, Caribeña, talk to me. Like, where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? What order do the cards need to be in? And so it very quickly, as soon as I asked that question, it became clear that the first card being curiosity, she was starting from a place of not knowing, but open-minded enough and inquisitive enough to just ask the questions. And so starting from a place of curiosity and ending from a place of transformation, everything fell into place. I was like, okay, so if transformation is the end goal, the destination, and curiosity is the beginning, what does her journey look like? And what kind of challenges and ups and downs is she going through to get there? And so it literally, like, just picture me like moving cards around and going, wait, but how is she going to be mad when she hasn't been defeated yet? And how is she going to be like all of these ups and downs felt very natural in the progression of her going from curious to a sense of arrival, a sense of like, yes, I appreciate who I was, but this is who I am now. So that's how the order of the cards came to be. And I'm also like thinking of my dad because he saw some of that. And I mean, my dad is hilarious because whenever he sees my work, he has a lot of opinions, unsolicited opinions. I never ask for his advice. He always has opinions. And so he was like, "Oh, are you sure?" I'm like, "Dad, like I'm doing a thing here. I'm sure." And then your first question, what would 8-year-old me say? Repeat the question one more time.
What would 8-year-old Jasleni on her broom say about this creation?
Oh my gosh, the word that comes to mind is pride. Um, and that's a tough one for me. I think that this is kind of like a common thing amongst creatives. We tend to be really critical of ourselves. We tend to not like our own art. We tend to we complete whatever massive undertaking and then we're already on to the next thing without having celebrated the last thing. And so I do suffer from that or have in the past. And so I appreciate that right now pride is really present and I'm proud of just even feeling proud. Like I'm proud of being in a place to have the capacity to pause long enough to say like, no, like A plus. Okay. Um, I'm keeping an eye on the time. We have 15 minutes. Is that right? Daniela, am I doing math right?
15 minutes, and then we have another half hour after.
Oh, we have so much more time. I thought we had 15 minutes, period. Okay. No, so we're actually, oh wait, I have my little time at 7 is when we want to. No, I'm messing myself up. Let me go back. Let's shift gears. I promised you that we would set and powerful intentions for this year, so I wanna make good on my promise. And for this, what I want to do is invite you to take a big, deep, loving, cleansing, grounding breath, or several. And yeah, just keep breathing. And as you inhale, bringing in your attention to here and now. As you exhale, letting go of any distractions, anything from earlier in the day, anything that doesn't need to be here, any distractions that may be present, acknowledging them and putting them on the bookshelf for later. If it feels comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. You can place your hand over heart or over belly or both. So let's just take a moment to come to our bodies, to come to this moment, to express gratitude for making the time to be here, gratitude for having the resources to be here. And as we set these intentions, I want you to like not even think about New Year's resolutions and a whole list of things that you want to do this year, but rather sinking into the knowing that these intentions are about just remembering who we really are. That 2025 can be, you know what? Not can be, not will be, but is the year that we celebrate who we are and just how an acorn doesn't think like, oh, I think I want to be an oak tree. Natural intelligence intends for that acorn to become the highest form of itself. And that's the type of knowing that I'm talking about. It's the intentions to just be who you already are, the highest expression of who you already are. So take a second to, first of all, celebrate any wins from 2024. Like think of one thing from 2024 that you're grateful for, or several things. And if it's hard for you to think of anything, the fact that you're here right now, that you made it to this moment, that is plenty. So let's just take a moment to express that gratitude. And actually, I'm feeling that we should share what those celebrations are. Do we want to put them in the chat or even, yeah, let's come back to this moment and share. Let's do it in the chat. One thing that you're grateful for 2024. Or if it's easier, because I feel like some of you look hella comfy and I don't want to disturb your comfort. So if you want to just speak out loud. I know Danielle is celebrating graduating. Lamore is celebrating quitting your job. Got a couple of people in the house who quit their jobs. Quitting my job was one of the best decisions I ever made. So Um, my first short story was published. Yay! Writing the Oracle deck and starting my business and quitting my job today. Can we just like, I love when my niece Liani said, when she was a little itty bitty thing, and I don't remember what I was celebrating, but she told me, you deserve a round of applause. And she made it like this, a round of applause. Book proposal done, out into the world. Okay, so there's a lot of creative manifesting energy in the space. Beautiful. Living in this van, going, seeing, hugging, being. That makes me think of Tiny House, Big Living. Love that. And the reason I wanted to, leaving a town and condo I lived in for 6 years, new things and places. Yes, new year, new energy. Yes. No longer working in a toxic environment. Yes. Getting engaged and wedding set for 5/17/25. Congratulations on your engagement. Love is in the air. Being brave enough to choose happiness and end a 20-year marriage in search for joy. Like, round of applause all the way around. My goodness, we've got love. We've got ending of marriages, which is a different form of love. We've got rising into our higher selves. We got book proposals and books and publishings coming out, decks coming out, jobs that we're saying goodbye to, new opportunities we're saying hello to. Like, yes.
I just want to ask Paige, so I'm not a big, like I have to be on social media for work and stuff. I'm trying to be on it more, but I'm not on it a lot because I tend to just scroll and like lose my mind. And so I limit myself. However, weird little thing about me, that I guilty pleasure is watching the videos of people that live in like vans and things like that. It is so, because I think I would love to do it, and then I would think, how the hell would I ever do that with my kids, my kids, my animals, my things, like, so I give you so much credit for doing it, and I'm sure it's a huge adventure, and I'm sure it's as glamorous as it is not glamorous. So I just think it's amazing, and I don't know your story, but I'm proud of you for doing it. I don't know, I just feel like saying that, so I think it's really cool.
Let's take a moment to, yeah, celebrate each other. I am 90% finished recording a 10-song album of original songs I wrote. I'm finishing it in February. This is my 20-year in the making soul project. Whoo-wee! I'm so proud of us. Like, we're crushing it. That spirit has led me to Woman Unleashed and led me to you and your art. I just drank in your art and feel so full and grateful for the chance to see, use, feel your deck. I am sitting and waiting to tender hooks for it to show up. My gosh. Wow, I want a copy of everyone's books. Yeah. I'm gonna follow up with each of you individually and get like follow-up information so that I could spread all of this goodness and make sure that we have links and access to all the amazing things that are in the works right now. So with all of this like high vibrating energy, celebrations, accomplishments, pride, let's take a moment to, do we have journals? Do we have pen and paper nearby handy okay, I'm seeing a lot of nodding. Okay, great. Let's do a little exercise, and I want you to make a list of all the things you want to do this year. Don't be precious about it. Don't worry about how neat your handwriting is. Be fast, like scribble it fast, brain dump style. We're not overthinking it. All the things that you want to accomplish this year, and be outrageous. Like if you have a big goal or many big goals or teeny tiny ones, we're not going to filter ourselves. We're not going to judge. We're just going to write all the things. So let's take a moment to do that. I'm also realizing that I meant to record this and I didn't record it. That must mean that it was meant for just us, not for anybody else. Okay.
It actually says it is recording.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then it's for
I just
everybody.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay, and because I want to nudge you to not overthink it, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. All right, I got a couple of looks. I'll make those 30 seconds 1 minute, but that's it. 1 minute. Okay, I didn't actually keep track of time, but my gut is telling me it's been a minute, so. Okay. So now I'm gonna challenge you, and I want you to pick one, maybe two things that you're actually gonna focus on this year. So look at your list and be super selective and think about, okay, but what is the highest priority? Because one of the things that gets in our way the most with actually following through on our New Year's resolutions is that we are doing too much and our focus is scattered. And I know for me, that is really hard to just pick one thing. But I did this exercise myself, and picking the one thing or one or two was the greatest gift I could have given myself. Like I'm feeling like 2025 is already shaping up to be amazing because for the first time ever, instead of committing to 100 things, I'm focusing on one or two. So go ahead and look at your list and circle, highlight, zero in on whatever you feel is like really jumping at you, feels really important to you. And the reason this is so valuable is because once we're really focused and clear on what it is that we're doing, it makes it easy to discern if whatever you're participating in and feeding your energy into is actually getting you closer to that thing or not. And if it's not, it's easier to eliminate it. So you choosing is such a beautiful gift that you can give yourself. And when you're ready, no rush. If you want to share what that thing is in the chat and be witnessed, feel free to share. And you should know that if you share, I'm going to follow up and be like, hey, how's that thing going? So accountability coming soon. Opening up my own private practice. That feels clear. What I love about that is that, when you're fussing with whatever throughout the year, you can very quickly say, wait a minute, is this going to get me closer to opening my practice? Yes or no? No. Okay, bye. Right? Open the salt cave and sell all the oracle cards. Okay. Oh my God, me too, friend. Veronica, you're the private practice?
Private practice.
Yes, private practice. Lots of therapists in the house, lots of coaches in the house. Publish my sixth book, vacation and complete license. Okay, that's definitely like three things, but because I know how you roll, I'm gonna allow it. If anybody can make that happen with complete and utter focus, hold the first Desire Playground retreat. Oh, yes. And I said this before, but I'm just gonna say it again, that I'm gonna follow up on all of these things, get all these links, get all this information, and make it available to everyone here so that if you're interested in any of these books, retreats, offerings, you will have access to that. In 2025, I am finishing my album and sharing it with the world, and I am helping my daughter leave the nest and go to college. Okay, not work literally every day where I don't have time for myself or for meeting new people. Those days are over. Dawn, that's amazing. I mean, all of these are amazing, but I just want to elaborate on that there's this book I was reading, and the author, whose name I wish I could remember right now, she said that the day she decided to make pleasure her number one priority, she made so much more money. She was so much more successful. Things flowed. And I'm sharing that because that came to, like, I feel like you're supposed to hear that perhaps the key to that goal is to incorporate a lot of pleasure into your life in whatever way feels really good to you. I want to go to the playground. Yes, Jasmine. Dawn, were you going to say something?
Thank you. Thank you. Because I really was working for a privately owned company, and without disrespecting them, they were acting like I was one of their shareholders or one of their family members who owned the company. And I literally was responsible, I am not exaggerating, for being available every single day. And next thing you know, all this time has gone by and I'm not doing things that not only that I want to do, but I can't even, I have to go through hoops to get time off to do what I want to do. And it's not fair. So I'm not doing that anymore. So thank you.
Yes. And yes, and I feel like everybody could use some of this. Yes to being really intentional about what you are and are not available for. Relaunching my website, being active in teaching, sharing, and creating all things yoga. All the yoga things. I'm loving this. My guest, gosh, launching my game Perspectives, which teaches two people how to communicate. Very interesting. Revising my novel so it's ready for agents. Yes. I feel like I should share my thing. I wanna save enough money to put a deposit on an Airbnb. I went to Guatemala some years ago, and that place has been in my heart ever since. And I see an Airbnb that looks like that space. I love reading about all of our adventures as we continue to become our more authentic selves. Yes. Okay. So next step in the manifestation powerful intentions for 2025. I want you to think about a word that encompasses the energy that you're stepping into this year. So think about your goal and the energy that you want to embody in order to make this happen. So I'll just start, actually, I'll just say a bunch of words, and if it feels comfortable to you, you can close your eyes and just listen and see if any of these jump at you, resonate with you. And Lori already put the word trust in the chat. Maybe that's your word that you're embodying this year. See if any of these words jump at you or spark a new word that you can really play with this year as you manifest these big goals. So you might want to embody the energy of radiance, expansion, play, pleasure, trust, vibrant, brave, joyful, abundant, courageous, creative, magical, daring, bold, adventurous, authentic, sparkly, ridiculous, outrageous, risk taker, go getter, glow up, soft, compassionate. Yeah, I'm curious. Let's take a moment to just sit with whatever words are buzzing for you, whether it was one of the words I just said or if something else comes to mind. And yeah, let's just take a moment to sink into or find what our word for 2025 is. Sexy, easy, low, patient. Pick a word that feels delicious and that feels that makes you feel expansive, that makes you feel like this. Shine. Paige's word is shine. Love that. Strong, courageous, brave. Yeah. Paige, you're so sparkly. Whimsical. I'm feeling very much that my word is trust. That there is this knowing that everything will fall into place exactly when it's supposed to and at a moment sooner, and that that is perfect, and that I'm divinely supported, and that if I approach things as if they're just going to work out, then they will. Like there's this utter trust that I'm stepping into this new year with. Supercalifragilistic Lidocious. I'm not good at pronouncing that word.
It's a song.
I tried.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's
Don,
a
do you want
song.
to? Don, can
Oh
you say?
yeah. It's
So,
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though da 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 da. Yeah, it's a song. It's a song, right? Okay.
tell them why.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I chose that. My name is Gosh. Hello, everybody. I chose that word because it's almost instantaneously makes the person who says it laugh. And that's what I'm all about, laughter.
Love it.
And the word is right. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to practice that one. So good.
Yeah, watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, or what was the other one?
No, it's
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. That's
Mary
it.
Poppins.
I've never seen Mary Poppins, so I'm gonna write that as a soul work for me to check that out because I'm assuming there's something in that movie for me to receive. Thank you, Gosh.
You're welcome.
I see segura, which means sure, like self-assured, confident. Um, sovereign and wild both keep pulling around. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got the one thing that we are focusing on this year. Actually, we all shared. We got the one thing that we are focusing on, and we've got the energy that we are committing to. So now I want to ask you, what is something that you can do in the next 24 hours to tell your body, to tell your spirit, to tell the world that you are committing to this energy. So I'm putting you on the spot. Take a second to think about what's one thing that you can do, big or small, that is you working towards that in a way that feels really aligned. And that feels really sparkly, trusting, courageous, like whatever your word is. Sign up for your exam. Yeah, that's a big, big move towards that goal. Yeah, amazing. So for me, if I want to save money for an Airbnb, what came to mind was downloading one of those apps where you look at your money and you like organize my money. And I mean, in a specific way, not that it's unorganized, but you know what I mean. Lamora, I am rejecting your emojis because that is not the vibe. What other actions are we taking in the next 24 hours? Confidently say who you are, what you will do every day. Create an aesthetically pleasing Notion page for my revision action plan. I am such a sucker for getting organized with sticky notes and highlighters and stickers and all the things that visually make it easy for me to see, like, this is what I'm doing. So, reorganizing his filing cabinet. Yes. Create a realistic business plan. Yes, we can totally talk about that, Michelle. Do we have any more shares? All right, I'm in the process of both of mine. I have all the steps laid out and the dates. Yes, I'm a heavy Virgo. I have the studio dates booked, the funds earmarked. We just submitted all of Kendall's college applications. Yes, 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 yes. I will start dreaming this retreat on paper. Yes, beautiful. I want to put it out there that I want to go to this retreat. Okay, this feels like a perfect time to actually before I have gifts for you. So I was gonna shift gears into gifts, but I'm curious if anybody wants to unmute and just share anything that's present. If you want to be witnessed in this energy that you are committing to, if there's anything that came up for you that you want to share, now would be a wonderful time to do that.
I'll share. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can't see me, right? Like I'm super
We can
dark.
kind of see you.
Okay, all right.
You're
Okay. So I just wanted to say, I mean, I'm really just echoing what others said previously, but you know, I've been on this journey with you over the last couple of years, Jasleni, from hearing you first talk about it when it was just a thought, just an idea, just a little inkling that was like this dream you had to seeing it all the way through. And I'm just really so inspired by how true to yourself you stayed. You know, I remember you talking about because we make all the plans, right? And then we have to pivot when they don't go exactly as we want. And I remember you had a specific date that you wanted to get it out. And I remembered you had a certain budget. And I remember you had a number of cards and all of that just continued to morph and it never deterred you. Like I remember you telling me about how you had a certain number of cards that you had in mind. And then through this process, there were just more coming to you, you know, and they kept, and you took the time to honor that and didn't say, okay, I've got to get this out. I need to make money or, you know, here's my timeline. Like you pivoted and you honored the whole process and what spirit wanted to bring through. And I just remember thinking like this girl's got it. Like like you're doing it and you're doing it in such an amazing, inspirational way. and you made it to the end. You're here. Like you've arrived. I think it's just incredible. So I'm just so honoring you that you've persevered and you did it, and you now have this amazingly spiritual divination tool that's going to bring so much enlightenment and joy and fun to other people. So I just wanted to say that. And also, it just, you're one of those people that I'm continually inspired around. And I just appreciate having relationships and people in my life like you who continue to inspire me and motivate me. And, it does propel you forward. I remember hearing you speak when I very first met you about this book you had read about the 5 people like that are in like who you in a nutshell, it was like the people who you surround yourself with influence you in ways you're not even realizing, right? And so surround yourself with people that are on the same path as you and inspire you. And so you're one of those people, and I just want to make sure you knew that, and I felt like it was the right time to, to communicate that.
Thank you. Yeah, we are an average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So if your friends like to party, chances are you might be a little hungover right now. Or if your friends like to are really athletic, like you probably have super duper abs. I don't know. My friends are artsy fartsy, and we we love getting together and being creative. And so yeah, I love that. And I also try to be really intentional about who I surround myself with. And my gosh, I am so fortunate to have so many people in my life who I am inspired by all the time. So Jill, I receive that, and I'm gonna like right back at you. Like just like, did you feel that? You felt that? Okay. Oh my gosh. Do you guys want stuff? Do you want presents? Yeah. Okay, presents are nice. I was gonna make this a raffle, but the beauty of you showing up, and because we are such an intimate group, I feel like I want everybody to get something. So I'm not gonna do it a raffle style. It's just one for everybody. So, Daniel, I know you were gonna like do the raffle thing. Never mind.
So, Jasleni, this is your version of Oprah's, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
Yes. Just you get a gift. Exactly. Thank you for letting me have an Oprah moment. So let me explain what the goodies are. I'm going to share my screen, and you can pick what you want, and either put it in the chat or email me and let me know what you want, and we'll just make it happen. So I have 4 options. Pick the one that resonates with you. So option number 1 is to do a oracle reading to dive into what's present for you this year. So if you want any insight into 2025, if there's something you want clarity around, that would be a really wonderful option. Option number 2 is the power hour. So I know some of you have some business endeavors that you're stepping into. So if you want support around your branding, your web design, or even just a coaching session around what the heck am I doing in my business in this moment, the power hour is all business. If you want a oracle deck, either because you haven't gotten yours yet or because you want to give one to a friend, that's an option. And then last but certainly not least, I have a membership, and we are a small but mighty group of visionaries who get together and support each other and do co-working several times a week, and coaching once a month. And we have our own space where we share and inspire each other. So it's a membership for visionaries and creatives and people who want to be around like-minded people. That's especially valuable to me as an entrepreneur who works from home, because it can be lonely to not have any coworkers. And so this is a really beautiful space to Zoom and focus and have that creative, social, co-worky, friendly, inspiring time together. And so that membership is full of resources, monthly workbooks, weekly astrology, and all kinds of magical blend of a blend of magic and business. So that's what that membership is all about. So you can put in the chat what you want, or email me, or you know where how to find me. Let me know what you want and it's yours. Pick the one that resonates with you. It brings me so much joy to, like Jill said, you get a car, you go. Like, it makes me so much joy to be able to offer this to everyone here. Thank you so much. I'm gonna stop sharing because you're really tiny in my screen and I want to be able to see you. Thank you so much for being present, for hanging out, for sharing. And I see in the chat, Daniela, is there a way to, like, can you screenshot?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So that I have all of your, Dawn, I don't know if I know your email or have your email, so I'm gonna,
Not a problem. No, you have it because that's how we've been able to keep in
okay.
touch. Thank you for always doing that. But I will certainly give it to you again. Okay.
Or
Do you want me to put it in right now to the chat?
or email me at
Okay.
my email, because
Separately.
everybody
Okay.
else, I feel like I can reach you very easily. But Dawn, if you can email me, I can follow up with you.
Absolutely. And Jasleni, I hope it's okay that I'm offering, and this is to help me as well. But if there's anyone else that's part of this group here, because it will help me if they're interested in sharing their information, their songs, the retreat, anything, and they would like to, talk about it in an interview, they can call into the studio and we can have a little conversation. So I hope that's okay that I put that out there
Yeah,
for the others.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, Dawn, I'm definitely going to follow up with you and get that info so that I can share it with everyone here. All right, everybody. We're like almost at 7:30. Hola, Zenaida.
You wanna try? I know that you're leaving already.
You have, we're closing up in just a few, but it's wonderful to see you. Es un placer verla. Thank you all so much. If anybody has anything else that they want to share, this would be a good time. Otherwise, we can just step into 2025 with our embodied words that we are committing to. We have the quick action, the inspired action, that thing that we're going to do in the next 24 hours. That's your soul work. That's your homework towards your goal. And I encourage you to email me, text me, let me know how things are going. I want to celebrate you. I also want to call you out if that's what you need. If you need somebody to be like, where's your thing at? Like, I'm happy to be that for you. If you haven't shared what you would like for the giveaway in the chat, please email me, because I want to give you presents. I want to give you things. So I will follow up with you, but if you see that I haven't, I'll follow up with everybody tomorrow. So if by Saturday you're like, hey, I haven't heard, please reach out to me. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. It's been such a nice time hanging out with you. And until next time.
Thank you.